Greetings and welcome to the channel. In this video we'll be looking at playground games. Now if you're like most people, playground games is a weekly or a monthly chore that you get through as quickly as possible. But there's a lot of fun to be had playing these games once you know what you're doing. In this video I'll cover the three main disciplines of flag, survival and king. I'll offer some general tips and principles which apply to all game types, and then I'll give specific advice for each one. Okay, so the three disciplines are flag rush, where the objective is to score more flags in the allotted time than your opponents. There are two teams, red and blue, and they take it in turns to try to deliver flags. In survival, the objective is to infect all your opponents faster than they can infect your team. Two teams take it in turns to be either zombies or survivors. In Team King, each team tries to hold on to the crowns for the longest. There's only one round and each team starts with one or two crowns depending on the number of players. Okay, there are some general principles. And the first one, know what side you're on. If you play several rounds of games in a row, sometimes you'll be on blue team and sometimes on red, and it's very easy to get confused and mistake an enemy for an ally. Keep an eye on the mini-map in the bottom left corner. It can show you where your opponents are, or where your friends are. Learn your way around and know where the dead ends are. You don't want to get caught in a cul-de-sac. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to have a sixth sense when you're chasing them and they know just when to turn to escape? Well, there's nothing magic about it. They're looking behind them. By looking backwards you can see where your opponent is and where it'll be hard for them to get to. Don't overdo it though, and do keep looking ahead occasionally. Never stop moving. If you stop, you aren't contributing and you're easier to catch or avoid. You'll also ghost, which means you won't be able to attack the enemy until you unghost, and you might even get disconnected for inactivity. Enemies can still infect you or take your flag or crown if you're ghosted, so do try to avoid it. Okay, let's look at the different disciplines in a bit more detail. First of all, flag rush. And flag rush has two phases, and you'll be doing each. You'll either attack or defend. So if we talk about attack first, when attacking, the objective is to score flags by taking from your flag pickup zone to the flag delivery zone. It can be very effective if you can organise each run so as many of the team as possible are attacking at the same time, preferably from different directions. This is very difficult to defend against. At the start of attack, there's often a multi-car pile-up of 6 players all try to occupy the same space. You'll get a better start to your first run if you hang back a little to let things settle down. Once you start your run, avoid defenders on the way to the flag and head for the score zone. If you're lucky, all the defenders will be doing something else and you'll get a clear run, or maybe just one or two defenders who you can easily avoid. If you're less fortunate, there might be many defenders and you'll need to dodge them while still heading for the delivery zone. Racing in at top speed can work here, but more often you'll need to brake, twist and turn to get past the defenders and score. If you can't immediately get through, veer off and come back for another try. By the time you get back, the defenders might be busy with someone else and you'll get a better run. When defending, there are 3 places you might want to be. At the delivery zone, ready to knife flags from the attackers, somewhere midfield disrupting the enemy's attack, or at the attacker's flag pickup zone, which I'll cover in a separate section under camping. I've found that midfield defence is least likely of these 3 to be effective, and so most players should stick around the delivery zone most of the time. The exception to this is the temporary excursions to meet an incoming attacker with the intent of disrupting his attack, so one of your teammates has a better chance of stopping him. You rarely stop an incoming attacker head on. You're much better off trying to attack from the side or even get in front of him so he runs into you. It can get pretty hectic at times and you'll wish you could be in several places at once, but you can't. All you can do is defend against one attacker at a time and trust your teammates to deal with the others. Teamwork is key. If the team gets organised, they can cover most approaches to the flag and make a near impenetrable wall for would-be attackers. Defenders who can't directly deny a flag can still disrupt an attacker's approach to make it easier for another defender to do so. Okay, I promised to talk about camping. If you're camping the flag, your goal is to prevent the other team from organising themselves for a simultaneous attack, which, as we've already seen, can be devastating to the defenders. If you can deny a flag, then do so, but that isn't why you're there. There should ideally only be one person camping the flag. It's not a two-man job, and if more than one are camping, that means there are fewer defenders, and that makes it easier for the attackers to get through. Okay, so that's if you're camping, but what if you're dealing with a camper? What should you do? Should you try to ram him, fight him, push him out the way? Remember, the objective of the flag camper isn't to take your flag, although he will if he can. No, his objective is simply to prevent your team gathering and attacking all at once. So the best way to deal with him is to ignore him. Don't fight him, don't ram him. That would work in the camper's favour as it wastes your time. Don't bother pinning him into a corner either, because while you're doing that, you're not scoring flags. And don't bother getting angry with him, because that's what he wants. Because if you're angry, you'll make poorer decisions. So what should you do? The best thing, as I've said, is to ignore him. Fly past as fast as you can and get on with your run. He's highly unlikely to chase you, and even less likely to catch you if he does, as he'll usually be starting from a near standing start or pointing in the wrong direction. The exception to this is if you're dealing with a very skilled camper who is denying lots of your team's flags immediately after pickup. In this case, do push him out of the way so your teammates can pick up flags, but don't waste a lot of time on this. Okay, Team King takes place over one round rather than two. Each team gets the same number of crowns to start, and the players who are assigned the crown is known as kings. If you're a king, you want to hold on to your crown and prevent the opposing team stealing it. If you're not a king, then you want to try and steal one from an opposing king. After 30 seconds as king, your car will be slowed down, and at this point you can either carry on and hope you can manage to evade the enemy, or find a teammate to give it to. You can only pass the crown to a teammate when you're slowed down. When passing the crown, don't drive head on into the person you're giving it to. That will stop you both dead and make it easier for the opposing team to steal it. Try to pass the crown by glancing against your teammate so you both maintain speed. Think trading paint. The same advice goes for taking a crown. If you hit the king head on, you'll both be stopped and you'll likely lose it straight away. When you take a crown from a slowed down teammate, you're not ghosted, and so you need to be ready to move immediately. When you're not a king and there are no slowed down kings on your side, you'll want to try and take a crown for an opposing king. You're less likely to be successful if you drive straight at him, as a head-on attack is easy to evade. Instead, try to get to the side or behind him. Even if the opposing king is far away, the map is finite and he will have to turn at some point. He'll also be slowed down after 30 seconds anyway, so keep chasing and you'll be able to catch him eventually. When you get the crown, you get 5 seconds where you're ghosted and invulnerable to attack. Use that time to change direction and get away from the player you just took the crown from. Ideally, you want to be heading in the opposite direction from them so they have to turn around. Beware of their teammates who might be following you so they can take the crown back as soon as you unghost. And remember to keep looking behind you. This is especially important when you're slowed down. Okay, survival. Survival takes place over 2 rounds, with each team taking turns to be zombies or survivors. The zombies are trying to infect the survivors, and the survivors are trying to avoid being infected, and to heal their teammates who have been infected. So when you're on the zombie team, just as with King, it's a lot easier to catch someone from the side or from behind as it is head on. And 2 or more zombies working together can herd a survivor to make them easier to infect. And remember, it doesn't matter who does the infecting as long as it happens. Learn to anticipate where your opponent will be rather than following where he is now. You'll catch more survivors attacking from cover than you will if you're easily spotted. When you're a survivor, you're trying not to get infected, so the general principles of keeping moving, looking behind you, dodging and braking do apply here. It's hard to catch someone who is heading straight towards you, so a useful strategy is to drive straight at your opponents and swerve to avoid them at the last moment. You'll end up heading away fast and they'll be pointing in the wrong direction. Be unpredictable and do the unexpected. In this clip, the driver expects me to brake right and positions himself accordingly, so I swerve left and leave him behind. When your teammates get infected, you'll want to heal them. When you're infected, you're trying to get healed. There are good ways and bad ways to get healed, so here are some do's and don'ts. Don't heal head on. You'll both stop dead and likely both be infected immediately. Don't stop to be healed. A potential healer won't want to drive into you because it will stop him too. Don't stop to wait for someone to heal them. You'll have to get going again and you both might get caught. Don't slow down to heal someone behind you if there are enemies around. If you slow down, they'll catch both you and the person you're healing. Do try to heal with a glancing blow in passing, either face to face, which is tricky, or travelling in the same direction. Make sure to split up immediately after healing. Do slow down to heal someone behind you if no enemies around, but don't slow down too much, and do be aware the situation can change. Don't just watch this video, go out there and play some games. Practice, practice and practice some more. Some of the tricks we've seen take a while to master and good practices need to become a habit. But once you've practiced these skills for a while, I bet you'll enjoy playground games a lot more than you do now. Well, thank you for watching. I hope the video has been useful. If it has, please hit that like button, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.